This is The Given Tree, written by Saul Silverstein, and as far as I can recall, it's the only book I've read cover to cover until I was about 24. Yeah, shameful, I know. Nowadays, our bookshelves have become a symbol for cultural capital, so much so that our entire YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok channels solely based on the act of reading. Hashtags like BookTube and BookTalk is devouring the social landscape with popular tips like how to read 5 million books in 7 seconds, and here I am with my children's book accomplishment. Practically, there's no difference between sitting on a couch, reading a book, watching TV, or listening to a podcast. They're all valid data consumption methods, each with its own unique benefit. But if I want to learn a new recipe, there's no substitute for a good video. Not only do I get all the necessary information and step-by-step action I need to take, but I also receive visual information that cannot be transferred in a written format. How is the onion chopped? How an excellent searing should look like? What's the consistency of my sauce? And what are the steps for good plating? You get the point. On the other end, some things are best learned from reading. Not only that, but there are stories, concepts, and ideas that only reside in a written format. And it's very, very difficult, near impossible to find some of them in any other medium. If we go back in time to our historical origins, we know that books were the most popular, accurate, and dependable means of gathering information. Reading and writing was the only format with a share button. This functionally facilitated the reading culture to what it is today. As I see it, there are only two main reasons why people read books. The first one is pleasure and escape. Use reading as a tool to get some relief from the day-to-day life. And the second reason is learning. We mostly read to gather information because there's something we want to learn. Maybe for doing an university essay or for a YouTube video just like this. Maybe there's a question that plagues our mind as we read in order to find answers. The truth is, I wish I knew how to read well. I wish I've developed this habit as a young individual. Not for some cheap social validations, just because I really like to learn. Some days it's super easy and fun, but on others it's a struggle to finish even a few sentences of reading. When I was much younger, I was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. Still, I never made the practical connection between the struggles I had with reading, learning, and communicating to other things in my life. ADHD makes it difficult to maintain focus, since my attention constantly shifts somewhere else, whether it's due to internal factors or external factors. Over the years, I've developed my own methods to help me stay constantly focused, if I remember to use them. And still, there's dyslexia, which is a very difficult topic. Maybe I'll do a video about it someday. Technical achievements are reshaping the way we communicate, and in turn, the world around us changes too. Video calls and audio messages are becoming more and more popular, and video streaming platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram are changing the way how, and particularly the younger generation, consumes information and learn. This change that began when YouTube was just in the diapers completely changed my life. It saved me. It facilitated a way for me to actually learn and grow outside traditional educational structures that heavily rely on the written format, where, to be honest, I did not do very well, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But even so, the written format isn't going anywhere soon. It's still the main way people learn and communicate today. So I had no choice but to play the game and invest in order to improve my reading, writing, and verbal communications. By adapting that one habit that can improve all of those weaknesses. Reading. But building any habit is hard, and to optimize success we need clarity of mind and focus, which means making the process a priority in our overall life. Without this mindset, it will be extremely difficult and frankly just not fun going through this process and these actionable steps. In this section, I'll share all the strategies that helped me develop the reading habit to what it is today and what I like to call holistic comprehension. So you decide you want to start a reading habit? Great. Now it's time to pick a book. Remember all the social media channels I mentioned earlier? Well, don't waste your time going through them and searching for the perfect book. None of them will do what they promise for you. In most cases, if you're thinking about taking on the habit of reading, there is a book in mind. Maybe lying on your shelf, maybe in your head, maybe something you heard a while back from one of your friends. Now think about the book and ask yourself, why do you want to read it? Use the 3 whys rule in order to help you out. I'm currently reading a book called Building a Second Brain by Tiago Forte. And before I decided to purchase the book, I asked myself, why do I want to read it? So why? Because I want to better understand how to use modern note-taking apps. Why? Because I want to learn how to capture my ideas, thoughts, and better manage my day-to-day actions. Why? Because I want to feel in control of what I do rather than just going through the motions. Theorized Rule will help you peel the layers of curiosity and find the underlying reason that resides in your subconscious mind. These reasons are not just reasons, they are needs. And once you know what you need, it's much easier to get into it. Now that we have our mindset in place, it's time to get practical. Habit stacking consists of 3 main actions. The first one is to link an existing habit to the new habit you're trying to form. When I first started reading, it was kind of difficult for me because I didn't know really where to put this habit inside my life. So I linked it to my morning coffee. I knew that every morning I'm going to get up and drink my coffee, so why not read anyway? Linking the 2 habits together made it much more easy to stay consistent. The second action is cleaning your room. I made a video about this concept a while back that you should definitely check out. But the gist of it is this. You want to eliminate the friction between what you want to do and what it is you're doing. So when I wanted to build this habit of reading in the morning alongside my coffee, I made sure that the corner where I want to sit is all tied up, my favorite mug for drinking coffee is ready for me, and the book is waiting for me on the side. The third action, and also very important, is setting a timer. Now I know what you're going to ask yourself. Why should I set a timer? What if I just want to read for half an hour? Well, I like to use the fat man analogy here. Yeah, not eating for a week can help you lose weight, but it's not sustainable. The goal is to build consistency, not overloading your system. Ask yourself, how much time do you believe that you can read in order to stay consistent with reading every day? For some, it will be 10 minutes. For others, it will be 20. And for me, it was 3. Each of us has a subjective experience. Don't sweat it. Pick a time that can help you stay on track and stay consistent. Now it's time for the real magic to begin, where our curiosity and our reality meets and intertwine. Getting into a good mindset, like revealing the underlying reasons why we want to read, and building the proper infrastructures in order to build this good habit are definitely important, but they're only half of the puzzle. You can read 1,000 books, but it won't change a thing. Wisdom is knowledge embedded in action, and if that statement offends you, then you're missing out on the most powerful aspect of learning. Good stories, regardless if they're part of a fiction or a non-fiction book, are an embodiment of experience, lesson learned, trial and error. And I believe that any book can become a catalyst for personal growth and a transformative experience in your life. A good book, a book you gravitate to or you chose to read, meaning there's something you want to learn. There's something you want to know. It can be practical knowledge or it can be just finding comfort in a shared experience or fantasy. Holistic comprehension is all about connecting the dots between your curiosity, the story, and your reality. The best note-taking advice I ever got is don't take notes. Not while you're learning. Not while you're reading. When it comes down to it, we only honestly remember the thing that resonates with us. And if it is resonating with us, then there is a reason. What is it? Well, it's up to us to reflect and find out. How do we do that? Well, introducing Notion. Notion is definitely not the sponsor of this video, but maybe someday. Notion is a productivity platform that helps individuals organize and manage their tasks by creating a customizable, flexible workspace to take notes, create to-do lists, and track progress on various projects. I use Notion for most, if not all, of the things I do in my life. But in this context, I use it to summarize the learning I do from books. Attaching a link to the description to the template that I use. I would show it to you, but most of it is not in English, so it won't be very beneficial. But it's absolutely free and nothing needed. Once you finish reading your book, take it with you, go to your computer, open up the template, and start answering the questions. I know it sounds like a hassle, I know I've been there, but I promise you it will change your life forever, literally. Now, after you've finished formulating your thoughts, hopefully you learn something new about yourself. Now it's time to test this newfound knowledge against the world. Share what you learned with your friends and your family, and watch carefully to the way they respond to those lessons. This may sound like the fun part, but I promise you, resistance will rise in any point where your newfound knowledge will challenge your friends and family's perspective from reality. You dived into it voluntarily, they did not. There is much insight to gain about yourself and the world from sharing what you know and carefully viewing how the world reacts. Now that summarizes everything we learned. If you want to build a good reading habit, you need to follow these steps. Follow your curiosity. What do you want to read? And use the 3 wise rule. Habit stacking. Linking the new habit to an existing one. Cleaning your room. And setting a timer. And the have or have is holistic comprehension. Note taking. Take note of what you learn and connect it to your subjective reality. And the second part is share it with the world. Tell your friends, family, or whoever you want about the things you learn and view how they react and how it affects you. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it to this point, I also hope that the knowledge I provided you can help you out throughout your journey. Until next time, bye-bye.